Hello there, everybody. This is James Rosasco, heir to the Kemba Walker Facebook group. And right now I am driving a stolen BMW in Moscow that I stole off some firemen. So I'm on the lam right now for stealing a tank from the Putin's army. So just bear with me if you see some gunshots or explosions. But recently I posted in the underground Facebook group on what my next informational video should be about, and the people just started posting from all over, including the Illinois suburbs, and they made their voices heard. And so I will now heed to those great questions that just need to be answered. And so one of them that people really wanted was how the fauna has changed over time in Bulgaria. And sadly enough, the Bulgarian fauna topics was hardly talked about in my 7th grade social studies class. We never even had to read Bulgarian fauna English books. They were all about like Shakespeare or like little shitty British people. And it's just like it's really startling how like 5th graders and 6th graders never grew up learning about Bulgarian fauna, especially since of how important it is like for all of history. I mean, you might think like, oh, it's just fauna. Jimmy, do you even know what fauna means? Is that just like a fancy word for plants? Well, yes, it kind of is, but it has so much more meaning. And I mean, it is also widely known that Bulgaria is one of the greatest places ever. I mean, you can ask my Bulgarian friend Kemba, and he'll say Bulgaria is the best country ever. So I mean, that's proof. And he was also from Bulgaria, or not? He's Bulgarian. So okay, so how has the fauna changed over time? Well, in the year negative 100 BC, the fauna was a glittering, flowing red of golden ambers. The fauna was made of literal gold and dragon's breath. As 10 years later, the dragon's breath emulated into a silver fawn, into an ember. Like the fauna grew 100 feet, and they started developing in mountains. The great at the time in negative 200 BC, the Mount Everest was actually located in Bulgaria. Then Mount Everest was later moved, but a lot of people don't know that because Bulgaria was actually the epicenter of basically everything. And then from 900 BC to 1200 BC, the fauna changed from blue-greens to orange-reds. And this got archaeologists all over the Adriatic Sea to just sing songs about this glorious change. Because old Beetle the Bartle, the rhyme guy, he wrote about in his poems about how there would be a great legend born from this land of this orange-green fauna changing to this orange-red, and it would tell time. And like now, just looking back now, it seems that he's right, because I mean, like people born in Bulgaria, Vlad the Impaler. I mean, there's some cool people in Bulgaria. So I mean, including some brutal impalers. And then it wasn't until like about 1900 that the fauna it developed some density, and in the lower regions of Shazuruk, Bulgaria, it had zero gravity. So it means the fauna would just float around in circles. Okay, so that's the end for that question. The second top choice was was related to Kemba Walker, and the question was, how or why did Kemba Walker get addicted to Cinnamon Life cereal? And this is an odd question. I'm not sure how this will help you in life, but this still has a story nonetheless. This is actually also a very sad story. Kemba Walker's abuelita, Kembalina, the old grandma, she was born in Sicily during the Italian Renaissance, and at the time, eating cinnamon was a crime. It was a felony. But Kemba's grandma, Kembalina, the old grandma, she was like, fuck this, I want some cinnamon. And why did she like cinnamon? Because she would paint with it. She would take some cinnamon and rub her fingers on it, and then she would paint sculptures of naked babies riding horses. Because at the time, naked art was the rage, and so she'd do that, and then and then she was like developed, like she thought to herself, maybe I could do something else besides painting with cinnamon. And then she decided maybe I can make some food item with this, and then she came up with Cinnamon Life. But it was a felony to make food with cinnamon at the Italian Renaissance, so she was beaten to a pulp, and then they were told to ever forget the recipe. So it wasn't until many, like 200 years later, that Cinnamon Life was able to be found in stores. But so he got addicted to Cinnamon Life to remember his grandma. Last question. What are the best places to visit in North Korea? Because, well, I mean, North Korea right now is just a booming place for tourists. I mean, there's definitely some people who've been there. Like Shanju has just went there. Aksu Go Banbum, Bing Dao Veru Bagji, and then Shanju-gu were all reported being there on Yelp, and they all gave over 2 stars as well. So okay, first thing, if you're going to North Korea, you'll want a hunting knife and some body armor. You just want those, just, be safe. But I would highly recommend Old Shan Shin Chow's Bakery. It is found on Old Times Square off Crescent Avenue, 7 blocks from the old fountain that spits lava. Not real lava, but it's like red water, They put some dye in it. But okay, why did I recommend this bakery? 1, the profiteroles and crescent rolls are to die for. They put some little butter shaped like the North Korean president's head, it's so sweet. And then they have all these crazy donuts. It's also one of the only places in North Korea where the food isn't contaminated with some diseases and all that.
Incoming call from. Do you want to take the call? Say answer or ignore.
I would also recommend Johnny's Paint Studio for some nice finger painting action. Besides all that, the second floor bathroom of the North Korean president's headquarters are all pretty nice. Besides that, that's about it. That's James Roscoe, and for the informational series.